Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another unboxing video, and this time it's 10cc. 10cc, 20 years. This is a box set with literally 14 CDs in it, and 145 tracks. I've been looking forward to getting a copy of this for quite a while. Now, this is the second pressing that I have in front of me. On the first pressing, there was an issue on, I think it was disc 14, track 5, I think, jumped. I think most people have got that sorted out because Demon Records have sent out replacement discs. But if you're buying it now, all the discs have been redone for the second pressing. But if you've still got an issue, then get in touch with me after this video via Now Spinning Magazine, and I'll let you know how to contact Demon Records to get your disc replaced if yours jumps. Anyway, before I go on, let's dive in and have a look inside the box. So this is 10cc, 20 years, 1972 to 1992, 14 CDs, 145 tracks, all studio and live albums from 10cc to Meanwhile, 2-disc selection of non-album B-sides and single version, and a 10,000 word essay by the band's biographer Liam Newton. This is Aston Records, the Demon music group. It's kind of that kind of feel you get from Esoterics, larger boxes. It's well put together, with all the pictures of the albums on the back. The albums slips out from the inside of the box, really well put together. And you can see the albums here, so I'll quickly show you through these. I'll show you the booklet last of all. So all the albums are included. The single sleeves are here, so the first 10cc album. So you've got complete reproduction of the original artwork, front and back. The only difference is the Aston label in the bottom right-hand corner. There's no spines on the single sleeves, but you know, I know sometimes some people like that or don't, but it doesn't lose any points for that at all. And I'll talk about the remastering when I sum up. Sheet music from 1974. Again, all the original artwork is there. Now, when we get to the original soundtrack from 1975, the actual gatefold sleeves are reproduced, which I think is a really nice touch. The colour reproduction is excellent. The next one, How Dare You, again was a gatefold sleeve, and that's been reproduced. Deceptive Bends was also a gatefold sleeve, and that also has been replicated. And the live album, Live and Let Live, great live album. That's a double CD, but again the gatefold sleeve is there. Bloody Tourists, I saw them on that tour, gatefold sleeve. And then Are You Normal, and the next ones are all single sleeves, and they're all again reproduced as they were back then. 10 out of 10. And Windows in the Jungle. Meanwhile, last but one, they did make one more album after this, but that's not included, but it wasn't really to a kind of authentic 10cc, so this is where we finish. And then there are 2 discs with some of the stuff that got left off, so this is where the B-sides are: Waterfall, great track, Gizmo My Way, etc. And some more as well on the last one. And then we've got the booklet, which is substantial and really well put together. All the credits and the tracks for the CDs are at the front end of the booklet, so it's easy to find. And then a very, very extensive and, lovely to say, text-heavy bio going through, the whole band's history. It's not just a enthusiastic pat on the back stuff. It's all this, it's warts and all kind of story, what was going on with how the band felt, etc. It's an excellent booklet, and then the actual remastering credits on the back. So that's 10cc, 20 years, 1972 to 1992, from the Demon Music Group on Aston Records, and I shall now tell you what I think about it. So that's 10cc. 1972 to 1992, 20 years of 10cc, 14 CDs and 145 tracks. So you've seen inside the box. So what do I think of it? I think it's absolutely marvellous, to be quite honest. You can see I've got a few of the albums on vinyl. I've never had all of them on vinyl, but I have had nearly all of them on CD over the years. And the early ones, I don't think they transferred that well. There used to be, there was another box set that only covered 5 albums from 1975 to 1978. So it missed off the first 2. Which always seemed a bit odd. And these came in little gatefold sleeves, but the sound of them, it didn't. I never found out where they were remastered. But this can be retired, and it can be retired because of the discs that come in this set. It's absolutely marvellous, as I've said. 10cc. What kind of band are they? For those of you looking in from the outside thinking, I don't really know that band, or I remember them fairly well. People love 10cc. They were like an art pop band. What does that even mean? If you think of pop music, it's a vehicle for getting people to move, usually onto a dance floor. So people release singles, etc., for people to dance to in a disco and a dance floor. I'm saying that because it's different to how you might perceive rock music or album-based music, which was to listen to and be serious about. 10cc kind of rode the world in both of these camps. But what was interesting about their pop singles were they weren't really tracks to dance to. They were clever. I mean, really clever. They had lots of different intricate parts. They would go off at a tangent. So you could say it was almost like prog pop. Because some aspects was closer to Pink Floyd than it was to what you would class as pop music. And I think that's why they've stood the test of time. The first album from 1972 had, various hit singles from it when they were doing lots of kind of 50s pop pastiche, which was quite... Rock and roll wasn't that old. The 50s rock and roll wasn't that old in the early 70s. Literally 10 years, wasn't it? But Donna, Dean and I, Rubber Bullets, of course. My involvement with the band, when I say involvement, where I really liked them, was this one, Sheet Music, which is seen as a classic. Obviously, Kevin Godley, Lol Creme, Graham Gouldman and Eric Stewart. Now, Godley and Cream, some people saw that as without them in the band, when they split up in the mid-70s, that it wasn't quite the same again. I never had that problem. I just liked them. It's a bit like, some people prefer the Doobie Brothers before Michael McDonald joined or whatever, or, various people left or joined different bands. I always was interested about what the band would do next. And I think the songwriting partner, Stewart and Goldman, was still created some amazing music. This one obviously had Wall Street Shuffle on and Silly Love, which were the hits. But there were lots of really interesting tracks. But where it really got interesting, I think, and a lot of my friends when I was growing up, were listening to like Led Zeppelin, Wishbone Ash, Deep Purple, Weather Report, all sorts of different things. It was this one, the original soundtrack. And as I say, the remastering on these discs is it's the best they've sounded. I think there was another 10cc box set prior to this, which kind of compiled things. But here you have all of the CDs, all in the original artwork, as you saw when I did the unboxing. But this one is probably a high watermark for them. One Night in Paris, is a long track. Was it nearly... I don't think it says in the booklet, but I think it's nearly 8 minutes long, isn't it? 8 minutes, 41 seconds. See, this is where they probably were moving more towards prog pop. And of course, I'm Not in Love, which is a single that was 6 minutes long. So I'm saying that might have got people on the dance floor as a ballad, I guess. But you've got Life in Minestrone's on the album version. Great stuff. And it's the song titles as well made them different. Ships That Don't Disappear in the Night, Do They? Fresh Air for My Mama. They've always really been a little bit kind of off the wall. How Dare You from 1976 was the next one. And the last one with the original lineup. I love this one as well. This is a great album with How Dare You, I'm Mandy, Fly Me. I remember them doing that on Top of the Pops. and it had all those different sections. And it was, if you think about Top of the Pops back then, all these bands would come on and people would dance to them or whatever, or it was basically to get people dancing. I'm Mandy Fly Me was everyone just watched the band, and it was a single, and people watched the band, these musicians, these great musicians doing this very arty, crafted, clever songwriting, which was technically on paper not commercial, but it really, really worked. Art for Art's Sake is also on that album, and Don't Hang Up. And then the first one on their own is Deceptive Bends, which some people thought it won't work. And of course it did. Hypnosis did some great covers for them as well, album covers. Good Morning Judge, Things We Do for Love, Marriage Bureau Rendezvous, and of course Feel the Benefits, which is 11 minutes and 29 seconds long, parts 1, 2 and 3, which became a real live focal point for their concerts, which of course was next in line with Live and Let Live, which a lot of people probably didn't appreciate this at the time, but I know a lot of people in the Now Spinning Facebook group do. This is really one of the great live rock albums from the 70s. It really is superb, and it's got the gatefold sleeve. It's a double album. And the stuff on here is The Second Sitting, For the Last Supper. You've got A Cold, Honeymoon with Bead Troop, Good Morning Judge, Ships Don't Disappear, Wall Street Shuffle, People in Love, Art for Art's Sake, 7 minutes long. It's just amazing. And of course, one of the best parts of it is Feel the Benefit, which is 13 minutes 35 seconds long on here. You know, Stuart's guitar playing is immaculate. Such style and taste and melody in his playing, and Waterfalls on there as well, 7 minutes long. It's fantastic. The next one was Bloody Tourists, which had Good Morning Judge on, which was a hit single, a reggae flavoured track. Now the reggae influence on their music would continue beyond this. Some people saw this as a kind of step down, but I still liked it. Some good tracks on it. And the next one, Are You Normal, has also got some great rock songs on it. And again, there are some kind of reggae-ish flavourings in the tracks, but it's probably not as reggae-ish as Good Morning Judge. But they were evolving, they were moving forward. Highly polished music, but of course, the world around them was altering as well. And probably my least favourite would be 10 out of 10, and that would, you know, if you're going to call your album 10 out of 10, I suppose they could have easily been setting themselves up there. But as the album progresses, especially towards the end, with Lying Here With You, Survivor, I really like those tracks, but it didn't quite have the feel of the other ones. I think that Stuart had been in a really bad car accident, and I think the relationship Goldman was starting to fray around the edges. Windows in the Jungle from 1983 is a return to form, and it's wonderful stuff on that, especially Taxi, Working Girls, etc. And then meanwhile in 1992, when they were kind of convinced to come back and give it another go, Sank Without a Trace. But there's some great music on there. Now the last two CDs are The Bits We Missed, and there's some great stuff on here, and basically B-sides, but I remember these so well. Waterfall, great track, lovely playing on it. Gizmo My Way is another one, and you've got some single edits as well. Worst Band in the World, radio version, and then CD 13 also has stuff like this on as well, and it's just marvellous. And if you're thinking CD 13 was 14 CDs, remember the live one has got 2. The booklet, as you saw, has got tons of information, the whole story of the band, told with lots of authenticity, etc. So I'm really pleased to have this. It's really well put together. It's like one of the esoteric boxes that you see. I think it's priced properly for what you get, and it's the best overview I think we've had of the band. You know, it really is fantastic. Great, lots of extras. The band have been involved with it. The remastering is also fantastic. And as I said, I think it's the best the best these albums have sounded. It's a wonderful CD box set, and this again is a wonderful example of why the CD format ain't going anywhere. Vinyl is fine, and you'll see me reviewing vinyl all the time, but when it comes to these career overviews, the CD really just rocks it, it really does. And this is a fantastic set. I'm so pleased to have it. And as I said at the beginning, this is the second pressing, so just buy with confidence. If you bought the first batch and you did have a problem with your CD, Demon will replace that for you, but not everybody had it, so it's highly possible that your set was probably fine. You'd know by now, because obviously you've played all the discs, haven't you? But that is 10cc, 20 years, 1972 to 1992, out now. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Please subscribe, ring that little bell, become a patron, a YouTube member, or even make a donation via Ko-fi. Thank you very much for supporting our spinning magazine. Stay safe, keep spinning those discs, and I shall see you all very, very soon.